So, what if God is all of us? I mean, I really want you to contemplate this question and then consider how you would do things differently if that's the principle you live by. What if God is all of us? What if when you look at someone else, you see you? What if God is all of us? Now, from my perspective, that changes the way I do everything, the way I think, the way I do business, the way I do ministry, the way I wake up in the morning and begin to deal with my family. I think about Christ Yahshua. I think about the message of the cross even. And this is not just for those who are religious, but just think about this for a minute. The story in and of itself is about sacrificing so that other people will know they are free and that they are connected. And that if they simply just fix their mind on the fact that they are one with God, that death won't even bother them. Because they understand that there's a dynamic to this world. There's something about it that is so strategic and well put together. Like we would change the way we handle each other. This is when God says, I'll hear from heaven and I'll heal the land. Love heals. It causes you to change the way you handle another person's feelings and emotions. It makes you consider them. More people would study another faith or culture or gender, sexual orientation, whatever. You would begin to go deeper into understanding it if you live by this principle. I can't sit up here and say that I agree with every single thing I hear and that I subscribe to every single thing that I see, because I don't. The reason is because through me, God is expressing a preference that's unique. So I connect with people who I can resonate with and they connect with me. And the people who I don't, well, that's when strife and drama and issues may begin to come in. But if I stop and consider you, even if you are doing something different than what I would do, even if you think differently than I do, even if you decided to be a liberal and not ever be restricted, or if you are a very conservative and you live a very strict, devout life, whatever it is that you choose to do with your life, there's a reason why you do it. It's a part of God's expression that we may not understand fully. That's why we're not all compatible. But does that mean that I'm any less God's own than you are? Christ Yahshua, what we know in the Western Hemisphere as Jesus the Christ. And there was a lot of other love leaders. So, this is just my first known example, other than my mom, with love, where love was the undertone of everything. But Jesus stood up on the behalf of those who were called sinners, those that were judged and ridiculed and stoned to death. Now, this is according to the story that I learned growing up. Now, what I do understand is that because the Bible has been translated so many times over, there are so many things that are lost in it. If we do not live according to love or live according to the Spirit, then we're going to miss something. That's just the reality. Those are testimonies of others who went through this journey with God, the same as we are doing right now. We look at the scriptures and we see where Jesus was advocate, where Jesus was a healer, where he would ask the question, will thou be made whole? Not forcing anything. Just, do you choose this option? But never once do we see where people chose a certain option and Jesus had an issue with them, except when they were in the temple, which had been deemed sacred by a group of people. And they were sacred and set apart for God unto that particular culture. And Jesus goes in and he has like a whole fit because they are exchanging monies, doing business in that particular place instead of doing it out in the marketplace. Because the nature of their heart was not pure. Now, when you look at this situation from the perspective of a speaker coming to a church to deliver their message, and they have product and the people choose to purchase it so they can continually have it or have it forever, the nature of the heart, if it's only about making money in that place and it's not about making change, about changing the hearts of people, transforming the hearts of people, then that would be something that would probably vex him. But when people are there and they're selling, but these people come and they have pure hearts, they want people to have everything that they need. And then when the people purchase their products, this is something that can help them forever and ever and ever. And that's the true nature of why they're doing this. Plus, when we receive something from someone, we're supposed to be more than glad to reciprocate. Right? Because we all have to live. We all have to have what we need to be able to manage in this life. So a person that's selling something is not the problem. Not an issue that they are selling their products or their services, or that ministry leaders finally stand up and say, hey, I'm a servant worthy of my hire too. There's nothing wrong with any of that. We should be more than willing to feed back into the very source that feeds into us. Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a whatever. So anyway, I really just continue to think about Christ, Yahshua. And understanding all of these things, everything from person to person, it was personal. We don't treat each other personal. And I think if we did have this perspective, what if God is all of us, there would be a difference in how we just handle random things such as, hey, really asking how you're doing and meaning it. Actually listening to what they have to say. And if there's something you can do to help. If there's not something you can do to help, just offer to still pray for them and give them encouragement if necessary, or point them in the direction of someone who can. We're frustrated with people for being different, but we're angry when people are upset with us for being different. Come on. Now we have got to really open up our eyes and understand what the real gospel was all about. It wasn't about ridicule and shutting people down and judging people. As a matter of fact, his message was totally different. Don't do those things. Don't judge. Don't condemn. Forgive. Pray for those who have shortcomings, because you also have your own. Someone needs to be able to forgive that which you have done against them in offense as well, because we all do something. Why? Because through the eyes of the one who is beholding, through the eyes of the one who is receiving what you are giving out, it makes a difference. They feel and they see something, and based on their personality type, based on who they are being expressed as in the world, they're different than you are. So therefore, something you think is great, they may think is absolutely offensive. Now, does that mean you change who you are? No, except for in your heart. You make sure that your heart is pure. I'm sorry that we don't agree in this area, but I'll go my way, you go yours. You live your life, I'll live mine. And we'll all grow. And at some point, somebody may say, you know what? This is too much. This separation, this division, this hatred, this envy, all because you're trying to survive just like I'm trying to survive. We got to change it. This is not just hype conversation. Everybody's trying to figure out the solution to every issue. And if we start at that thing, What if, when I say what if God is all of us, what I'm really saying is, what if love is all of us? What if God ruled in our hearts as a love and everything in this world begin to change? Like, what if we just did that?